Don't you think that if the conflict does ignite, history will remember all the posturing and saber rattling as initial aggressive actions? Your take wasn't bad, but hindsight is 2020, and while it could go either way, it's still apparent that you were not entirely correct in your earlier read of the situation. Okay, it doesn't matter what fucking history remembers. You're just admitting that, like, my earlier read wasn't correct because I engaged in proper analysis, which I still believe, which is Vladimir Putin rolling fucking tanks into Ukrainian territory is absolutely unfathomable. The goddamn American government literally said they're going to take all the way to Kiev. Okay? If my analysis is wrong, whose fucking analysis is right in this situation? Joe Biden literally said, we have reports that he wants to go all the way into fucking Ukraine, take the entirety of Ukraine. What the fuck are you talking about?
People happy Arjan and chat happy Monday. My loves hassle. Has mods.
You're already getting clip chimped on Twitter by other debate bro YouTube fuckheads. Dude, okay, here's the other problem, okay? Nobody fucking ultimately cares about this except for like this audience of people who are like, oh my God, you know, I have a stance on this that is unchanging. I have already admitted that if I'm wrong, if this fucking invasion does occur, then I will admit that I was wrong. It's not like the end of the fucking world, okay? But this idea that like you know, this is important when it's a hyper fucking it's literally like a microcosm of the larger conversation led by people who for the rest of the time talk about like ethical child porn or whatever the fuck and have these endless debates, and how Normans will be like looking back at this and be like, wow, Hasan was so fucking wrong, is idiotic. Okay? I keep forgetting Chad aren't leftists, but motherfuckers who just want healthcare and free college, they aren't anti-imperialists. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is American, the problem with like American leftists is that, of course, they grew up in the imperial core. It's very, very difficult for them to shake that off. It's almost more difficult for them to shake that off than shake off the fucking, the notion that they have to live in a capitalist society. Also, I forgot to fucking blast off. So here's the take. I mean, here's my tweet that I tweeted out saying that I'm live and alive. So people will just move on to yelling at you for your next purchase. Yeah, exactly. Why did chatters watch these cringe ass YouTubers and then come cry about them in your chat? I don't know, dude, because they're fucking cringe, okay? That's it. The unfortunate reality is that this is a cringe community. We do talk about politics on the internet, so there's going to be some fucking cringe motherfuckers. You are so fucking NA it hurts. The whole concept of international law isn't going to make Crimea wrong, eh? Dude, you can't say I'm so North America and then bring up international law as though we respect international law here. It's very weird that a lot of people are repeating what you hear on MSNBC, what John Bolton believes, what, you know, like the entirety of the neocon foreign policy class believes, and then telling me that my take is the, you know, my take is the NA one, the out of touch one.
Yo.
Okay? That's weird. Anyway, pro-NATO leftists are liberals who are horny for internet drama. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Hassle.
Alternative take to yours, Biden's was a good statement. Either Russia invades, at which point he looks right, or they don't invade, at which point Russia was curtailed by the West. Heads, Biden wins. Tails, Russia loses. Exactly. But the point is, if Russia did not have if Russia was engaging in the same exact fucking military actions that they engage in every goddamn year with no interest in actually fucking invading Ukraine, and they don't end up invading Ukraine, then Biden escalated a conflict to a position where they were actually going to fucking, where they made it seem like, Vladimir Putin is going to invade Ukraine. The entire, what needs to happen right now is neutralization. That's it. That's it. So instead of fucking constantly and consistently giving you guys my goddamn fucking takes on this, I've decided instead of talking about this shit, I just want to show you other people who I guess agree with me on this issue, because it is deeply, deeply, deeply frustrating to constantly fucking talk about this issue over and over and over again. Okay. It's just, I know that a lot of the liberal, baby leftists care more about the aesthetics than anything else. So if they hear like people that they love and respect, like fucking, I don't know, Noam Chomsky or all these other people, maybe then they will understand where I'm coming from with my like actual anti-imperialist point of view.
1 inch, but there was quid pro quo that NATO would not move 1 inch to the east. That was the phrase that was used in the interchanges, meaning to East Germany. And on that condition, they went forward. NATO immediately moved to East Germany when Gorbachev vigorously protested, naturally.
By the way, remember, this is literally what Vladimir Putin was saying. Like he was saying this in his speech earlier. Okay? So just remember that.
He was informed by the United States.
I don't know where this is coming from. Oh my God, where is this fucking coming from? It's so fucking cringe. Oh, that's where it was coming from. Got it. Okay.
States that it was only a verbal commitment. It wasn't on paper. Exchanges, meaning to East Germany. And on that condition, they went forward. NATO immediately moved to East Germany. When Gorbachev vigorously protested, naturally, he was informed by the United States that it was only a verbal commitment. It wasn't on paper. The unstated implication is, if you're naive enough to think you can make a gentleman's agreement with us.
Also, the other part of the reality is, even if it was like literally a written agreement that NATO would never expand, do you think that they would not find a way to violate that? Who gives a fuck? Like, who absolutely gives a fuck? Okay? Like, you can't even, people are coming in here and being like, actually, fact check, no such agreement actually ever happened. Like, okay, does that change the reality that NATO is still an expanding aggressive force, aggressively posturing against Russia? I don't understand. Like, what does your fact check mean in this situation? The Soviet Union is fucking done, and NATO is still encircling Russia. Why would I, like, what does your fact check change about that? NATO's involvement in Libya and Afghanistan. Fact check, it's actually a defensive force.
It's your problem.
We're going to watch the fucking psychotic first half of the speech as well.
They didn't say that. I'm saying that. But the NATO moved to East Germany. Under Clinton, moved right up to Russia's borders. Just a couple of weeks ago, U.S. Military equipment was taking part in a military parade in Estonia, a couple hundred yards from the Russian border. Russia's surrounded by U.S. Offensive weapons. Sometimes they're called defense, but they're all offensive weapons. And the idea that the new government in Ukraine that took over after the former government was overthrown, last December, late December, it passed a resolution overwhelmingly, I think something like 308 or something, announcing its intention to take steps to join NATO. No Russian leader, no matter who it is, could tolerate Ukraine right at the geostrategic center of Russian concerns joining a hostile military alliance. I mean, we can imagine, for example, how the U.S. would have reacted, say, during the Cold War if the Warsaw Pact had extended to Latin America and Mexico and Canada were now planning to join the Warsaw Pact. Of course, that's academic because the first step would have led to a violent U.S. response and wouldn't have gone any further.
This is an older video. This is like a way, way older video.
For example, how the U.S. would have reacted, say, during the Cold War if the Warsaw...
The entirety of the West Ukraine gives a fuck. Like, bro, how fucking dumb are you? Holy shit. The only reason why you just can't accept this is because you're avoiding the top of the hour outbreak. Fuck you, dude. It's not even top of the hour yet. Okay. I've mentioned this before, but let me repeat it one more time. Okay? A reminder that the Cuban Missile Crisis was nearly identical to the circumstance where America put NATO ally Turkey, America put fucking missiles pointing at the USSR in NATO ally Turkey. Okay? They put missile bases in Turkey pointing directly at Russia. Well, not Russia, but the USSR at the time. As a retaliation to that, what is this? Change VOD title? All right, what did I change the VOD title? As a retaliation to that,
11 months of contributions to the
nukes, not just missiles. As a retaliation to that, Russia built, or Russia sent, like old ass fucking missiles into Cuba. Okay? This caused the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is where, like, this is how it originally started, with America using NATO to flex its fucking might. America using its allies to flex its fucking might against the USSR. NATO originally was created because the USSR was an unpredictable force of evil. Okay? It was an unpredictable force of evil. And what we had to do was, align every fucking nation state we can against this communist force that was spreading ideologically and also offering material help to other countries that were having their own very democratic socialist, revolutions. That is precisely what that's precisely what NATO was designed to do, and that's precisely what NATO is still trying to do to this day. Even though Russia is no longer a communist country, the USSR is not a real thing. Russia is Russia has a fraction of the power that it once had. It's just a nuclear power. Okay, that's it. So for a lot of you to turn around and say, "Oh my God, NATO is so fucking pogger. It's so pogger. I love NATO. I'm a leftist, by the way." I don't know where you're coming from. Democratic Socialist USSR? No. USSR is not democratic socialist, okay? The USSR had a lot of fucking problems. They had a lot of issues. But the real reason why America and Western capitalists were against the USSR was not because of their mismanagement, okay, of grain stocks. It was not because they were, especially under Stalin, a brutal authoritarian fucking country to live in. It was because they were offering material support and spreading the ideology of communism and socialism around the world, which was a problem for, especially in third world and developing nations, which was a problem for fucking capitalist nations who wanted to seize all of that land. Okay? That was it. That was the difference. That was the reason why they were fighting against the USSR, because there was a counterbalance in the world during the fucking Cold War where a large nation state that could match up with the United States of America and even some of the fucking Western capitalist powers, they could actually fucking offer support to other countries that were like, I'm socialist. I want to do socialism. I want to nationalize my fucking extraction industries. Okay? And then that big dick fucking USSR could like send them fucking money and weapons and offer them training and help. But America did not like that. Bring someone on that can talk some sense to you. You're going full Spotify. I think a lot of you are completely oblivious to this reality. A lot of you have not been here the million different times I've had these conversations about like third world liberation and about how the United States has extracted, or how Western capitalist nations have extracted natural resources from the third world regularly. Okay. It's kind of fucking weird. And the idiots that say Hasan becoming based, because a lot of you fucking dumb, like ultra tanky motherfuckers don't realize that this is a consistent position I've held. Okay. This is a consistent position I've held since day one. Why the fuck do you think I get canceled all the goddamn time? Idiots. Okay. Just because I'm not some fucking weirdo who like denies that like North Korea is kind of a shitty fucking place to live in. Okay. It doesn't change the reality. Just because I'm not like fucking being like, ooh, Jusha, it's the best ideology, it's great, even though it's not even fucking Marxist-Leninist, doesn't change the reality that like, I have a different understanding of Western exploitation, Western imperialism, and capitalist exploitation and capitalist imperialism in the third world than like 90% of these fucking social democrats who are like living in the fucking imperial core. Obviously they have this take, because ultimately it goes against their best interest to fucking to recognize and admit this. There's a reason why there's so many fucking people that are coming from unique backgrounds that are still in here for a very, very long time.
16 months of up the RA.
Okay. Let's continue.
The pact had extended to Latin America.
Also, people keep saying it was Ukraine's own choice to join NATO. Okay, well, it was Crimea's own choice to fucking join Russia then. Like, you can't fucking be like this region of just predominantly overwhelming majority Russian people with a fucking military that is like literally Russian, with a military that joined the Russian military immediately after the annexation, that is time and time again fucking consistently polled on being a part of Russia, that's doing better now under Russia than it was, and then turn around and be like, oh, it was Ukraine's choice to fucking join NATO. Anyway, the real choice here is the top of the hour ad avoidance. You could say yikes all you fucking want. You can say yikes all you want. Crimea was annexed. Crimea was annexed. Yeah, it was so crazy that like no one fucking died. Shut the fuck up. And like everyone thinks they wanted to be a part of Russia. They were a part of Russia until, like, most of your parents were alive when they were a part of Russia. They wanted to be a part of Russia. It's always been a separate, autonomous fucking region, regardless. Just because you don't understand the fucking history and you keep saying, yikes, 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 my favorite YouTuber told me something different, doesn't change the reality of what's going on in Crimea. You live in fucking Ohio, okay? You are not Crimean. You are not Ukrainian. You are not Russian. The motherfuckers that live there are literally like, no, we want this. And you're like, I do not consent. Because I defend the Ukrainian sovereignty, brother. The Ukrainian borders. Okay, blood and soil for Ukraine, brother. I'm joining the Azov battalion. I'm a 3%er. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I see a lot of things differently, especially regarding robust social safety nets.
Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue, okay?
Posting cringe in the chat. Also, NATO and Putin can.
You must show evidence that Crimea, more importantly, the Crimean. You must show evidence that Crimea, more importantly, the Crimean people, the referendum was illegitimate. No, of course the referendum was illegitimate. It happened under duress. Okay, I'm not a fucking asshole. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, there was a Crimean referendum. That doesn't matter. The referendum doesn't even matter. Do you want to know why the referendum doesn't matter? Because there have been numerous fucking polls since then by Western countries and Western NGOs that routinely want to fucking make it seem like Crimeans want liberation from Russia. And yet, for some fucking weird reason, all of those polls that Western NGOs that have very clear interests in making it seem like Crimea wants to separate from Russia keep showing the reality that Crimeans want to be a part of Russia. So you cannot consent to their fucking liberation, okay? You cannot consent as an American to their attitude. That is imperialist. Okay?
No more brain rot than normal, I think.
The real problem is Luhansk and Donetsk, okay? I'm fucking it up. That's the real issue. Crimea is not a fucking issue. Shut the fuck up. Like, Crimea is not a thing. You yourself are freaking the fuck out about all this shit for no fucking reason, okay? Stop bringing up Crimea. It doesn't even make your point look good.
Thank you.
It's the inverse of the I consent meme you made for Dark Viper AU. West NGOs, when Hasan doesn't like them, literally CIA. Western NGOs, when they support Hasan's argument, fair and accurate. Hey, you fucking idiot. My argument is Western NGOs have historically been aligned with the fucking CIA, and like civil society organizations are oftentimes utilized by Western imperialist capitalist countries and Western state departments exclusively to fucking drum up support when there's like real revolutionary action, real revolutionary spark in countries, okay? Real uncertainty, real anger, real volatility. It's oftentimes utilized. That is oftentimes utilized to create a much larger fucking movement, okay? This is something I talk about all the goddamn time. That's precisely the reason why I'm pointing out to the Western NGOs, because they have every fucking interest in making it seem you're not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth. And this is really a problem. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, okay? They have every interest to make it seem like the fucking Crimeans don't want to stay with Russia. And yet they still consistently show that they want to. Okay? If they're fucking, fuck. Should have never put that thing. Oh my God, I just ripped off so much hair from my head. Holy fuck. If those NGOs showed,
dog people anyway.
If those NGOs actually fucking showed that Crimeans do not want to be a part of Russia, then I would be like, yeah, like clearly, of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to say that. Of course those NGOs are going to show that. Okay? Because this is their best interest. And even then, they're not showing that. Why is it so difficult for you to comprehend this? Anyway, it doesn't matter. People born in 2004 are currently arguing with you about Ukraine. Yeah, it's true. That's literally true.
Whoa. A whole season of Has.
Please ignore this drama baiting bullshit from chat with other streamers. It's all telephone game silliness. Show your integrity if you're wrong. Yeah, it's true. So like I've said time and time again, like if I'm fucking wrong, I'll admit it. I get things wrong all the fucking time. Okay? I get things wrong all the fucking time. And when I do, I admit it.
Hey, the video is over now. But if you enjoyed that, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? And if you want to see more of that, just go, well, YouTube's got it around here somewhere.